Oh,
Aaron Moore.
Aaron Moore.
He was complimented by Sam Tompkins, actually. Sam Tompkins did a couple of tweets saying if we slagged them off enough, he was really good.
He was good at pointing at the for the tracks.
It wasn't the toughest game to referee,
No.
but it's all progress, isn't he? For a young referee, he's what, 25 or something. It's only his third or fourth game of Super League. He's, before you fact check me, Neil, I'll fact check myself.
He's got you second guessing now. That's the danger.
But he's not played. He's not refereed that many. Oh shit! I've missed a whole round's worth of who the referees were on my spreadsheet. So.
Oh no. Anyway, he hasn't. He's not refereed anything like as many as Hollywood Ben Thaler. So
no.
He's as you say, he's a referee finding his way.
I mean, his first game in Super League was only 2 months ago. So
there you go.
Yeah. He's making progress. He did the final of the Sunbeds Trophy, didn't he? He did the Sunbeds Cup, and so he's getting a bit of a higher profile and stuff, and praise from the players of the games. It's not going to go astray, is it?
Wasn't it Higgs doing the Sunbed?
Oh, it was, weren't it? What did Moore do then?
I don't know.
Did he do one of the semi-finals? Oh no, he did the women's. Did he do the women's Challenge Cup final?
That's possible.
Yeah, I know I saw him in one of the bigger games outside of Super League. Yeah.
But you're definitely going to get fact checked now.
Oh well.
Anyway, so yes. Obviously incomplete team stats because several players are not known. But for Catalan, Tom Davies had a try, 7 tackle busts and 213 metres. Fuad Yaha with 3 tries, 5 tackle busts, 168 metres and 3 clean breaks. Samasoni Langi with 2 try assists and 117 metres. Sam Tompkins with 2 tries, 3 try assists, 11 tackle busts and 101 metres. And for Lee, nothing, nobody, absolutely nada. Nothing that meets our statistical levels, I would say.
No.
No fan views on this one, I'm afraid, and I've only just seen the highlights. It's genuinely, to me, there was it looked like some league players just couldn't be bothered out there for me. There were definitely several kind of efforts that I call them efforts.
I mean,
they were wave throughs. They were genuine wave throughs, as far as I could tell.
Yeah. The fact that the kicks felt like they were kind of being competed for in a token effort way, that led to a couple of the tries out wide and stuff. But the Maloney try was fucking hilarious. It was a blooper. It was a blooper reel thing, wasn't it? When the Lee fullback tried to kick it dead, but instead went over the ball. I think it was Keenan Brand, maybe, who was at fullback. Anyway, he kind of kicked over the ball, and then as his leg came back down, back-heeled it right into Maloney's hands. He was like, "Oh, okay, I'll score then."
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously not a massive surprise. Tough, third game in so many days. Long way to go, etc., etc. But yeah, it felt like the writing was on the wall.
No, we've got to pat them on the back and tell them how fucking wonderful they are because they fulfilled a fixture. Because Derek says they could have just not fulfilled the fixture.
Right. And just lost 24-0.
Yeah. But I mean, on the flip side, Derek, if you hadn't fulfilled the fixture, you definitely wouldn't have won. So you certainly would have been relegated.
Yeah, it was all a little bit academic either way, I would suggest.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You're not getting credit for just doing basic stuff that you're supposed to do, though. No. So stop trying to get it.
No, that's not how sport works, I'm afraid.
But the Tom Davies try, that was a great try. That finished it off for Catalans. One of the big things that Wigan fans, if you go on any sort of Facebook group or fan forum or anything for Wigan fans, it's recruitment and retention's been shit. And do you know what? Our recruitment hasn't been shit because we signed the Man of Steel, we signed the best second rower in the world, we signed a prop forward who's played many an international. And we signed Bevan French, who's the most exciting player in Super League in the last 2 years. We've signed these players. So our recruitment's not been shit. However, and other things have gone against us around that though, but however, retention has to be questioned, especially in the perfect vision of hindsight. But the biggest error around recruitment and that sort of area that we made was backing Don Manfredi over Tom Davies when Tom Davies was out injured with that terrible ankle injury he suffered on Good Friday in 2019, and Don Manfredi was flirting with the idea of maybe his knee will put up for more than 3 games in a row, and we backed Manfredi. And
wrong horse.
As much as I love Don Manfredi and wouldn't at the time have taken a different decision, I don't think. Certainly now we know we took the wrong call. Tom Davies was going to recover well, and Manfredi was never gonna.
This is the. I mean, I feel like I've made this point before, and I'm not picking on Don Manfredi particularly, but I genuinely think if you've taken any kind of rugby league fan and you talk about Don Manfredi to them, they'll say biscuit, and they don't mean that in a nasty way, but they mean the guy's hasn't got the body to stand up to it. They would say that
too.
Well, yeah, whatever.
Never had any other injuries.
But okay, well, you can't run with one knee,
no.
And that, but I at one point, kind of, you probably had 4 of the best wingers.
Yeah, at the end of 2018, we had Manfredi, Marshall, Davies, and Burgess, and all of them, would be contenders to be in any side in Super League.
At the time, yes, absolutely.
At the time, because Manfredi put 5 games together where he scored 2 tries that won us the grand final.
But yeah, I mean, going back to the point, I mean, Tom Davies is looking like one that got away without question, because every time this guy plays, he looks like an absolute superstar. So,
absolutely, yeah, for certain.
Yeah.
But Catalans, two players scored hat-tricks in the first half. 1 on each side of the pitch. That just shows how spread out the dominance was and how convincing it was.
Yeah.
There's one for Neil. Has that ever happened before? In Super League, it's probably happened in like a Challenge Cup game or something, but yeah.
That's something to check. Should we talk about a game that was a little bit more intense?
Yes. Aaron Moore's brother, Liam Moore, was the referee for this one, and I think did a pretty good job as well. 14-10 it was to Warrington at half-time. They'd stormed back in the second half of the first half over St Helens, but the Saints controlled the second half and it finished 24-14 to the reigning champions. Saints made 151 more metres at a better average gain than Wyre, which doesn't happen a lot actually, that people make a better average gain than Wyre. They also conceded 4 fewer penalties, but did have to overcome a 5.8% worse team tackle success rate to win this one, where both sides made 2 clean breaks. But they were clean and beautiful ones. There were some good tries scored. Mark Percival with a try, 5 tackles, 165 metres, and Tommy Makinson with 130 metres were the only people from Saints that hit our stat markers. For Warrington, George Williams with a try assist, 119 metres, Jake Mamo with 116 metres, Chris Hill with 44 tackles, no missed tackles, and Joe Philbin with 40 tackles, no missed tackles. I don't believe that from Joe Philbin with his style, that he didn't miss any, but clearly that's what the stats men say. And Tom Lynham, he didn't miss. He's got he's got a 2-match penalty notice for a grade B high tackle. The incident towards the end of the game that saw him sin-binned. I think is the owner of that one.
Yep, and completely rightly, I would say. Into the fan views. So Karsten says, I think Eddie Jones saw quite a good game today. Honestly, just before we get on, why are we letting Eddie Jones in? Fuck me, I hate that guy. Anyway, but can we go on?
I know what you mean, but from a sort of outside point of view, I do think that a Sky game that might have had a pretty good audience, because if I'm right, there was no like proper football up against it. Because isn't it like when everyone breaking up to go to the countries on Monday? So apart from all the players that the Premier League have banned from going to play for the country or whatever they've said. Anyway, so it would have had a decent audience, I think. There was no cricket either. There was nothing else really for sports fans to get the teeth into. I don't remember. So I think it would have had a good audience, and having another recognisable face from another sport getting shown quite a bit on the footage would have, to me, helped the profile of a game that desperately needs help. I feel sick that the profile's boosted by that fucking charlatan with his piss poor jokes about fitness of players. But at the same time, he had to write a lot of notes, didn't he? Because he had to write down how many tackles people had done a lot of times, because he's never fucking seen that many tackles in one of his normal games. But anyway, yeah, I agree. Can't stand the bloke. Can't really stand the sport. But our sport needs profile, and that helps with it.
Yeah, that it's very sad.
But no one else is listening to this that cares about, that hates us like that. So.
No, but yeah. Anyway.
Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, as I was. It was me who distracted it. So I think Eddie Jones saw quite a good game today, but can we start killing idiots with fireworks? 10 minutes for Lynham was okay. A send-off would be okay for his videos. and the last two cards were exactly right. P.S. After this exciting game, I'm afraid I will see some boring shit from Saints versus Leeds when I'll be there in 10 days. ...
Carson's coming over.
There you go.
Tom Andrews said
letting him in.
Tom Andrews said, yeah, but the thing is, he has to travel from the future, so maybe in the future, COVID's not as much of a problem.
Yes.
Tom Andrews said, very enjoyable game to watch. Great tries, big hits, shithousing. The game had it all. Shame some morons in the crowd tried to spoil it. How dumb can you be with the world as it is at the moment? I mean, it was stupid before coronavirus.
It's still stupid now.
Yeah.
Yes. People are people. At Matt Taylor Wire 1 says, one ad for the sport. Properly refereed too. Refereeing hasn't been good this year, but for the first time, the game flowed. First 30 minutes were the best from the Super League all season. That said, I think the players have been put through it recently. 3 games in 9 days in this sport is tough going.
Why
it's not football.
3 games?
No, that's true. It's not football where it's territorial. These lads cover the turf together.
EFC78JU said, that was some entertaining game, but not the result where after they got their revenge after we beaten them at the Totally Wicked. At least George Williams scored against St Helens, which will get Wigan fans hyped up. Yeah, I was crying, mate. As well as their win. Need to win at the Toon. See you on Sunday, Wigan.
Lee Whitnell says, the atmosphere of the HJ was electric. Saints made us work for every yard. We had to rely on quick lateral shifts and chip and chasers to engineer opportunities. And whilst this did give us send us in at the half-time in the lead, with George Williams looking great, it was always going to gift chances to Saints. Pity their mouth-breathing inbred fans were too busy letting off pyrotechnics in the crowded stand to appreciate it properly. Fuckwits.
Neil Ormston said, expected a dull, tight, low-scoring game. Got a dull, tight, moderate scoring game. Never have I been so bored at a Wire Saints game, and I was there when they put 80 on us. I just can't watch this Saints team. Please, RFL, sort their rucks out as they are so slow. Yet just 1-6 again. I genuinely enjoyed the 80-minute drive back to Leeds listening to SLP. More credit to you guys for that, but it shouldn't be this way. God, Neil was at a different game to what everyone else watched, I think.
I think he has let his opinion of and his opinion of Saints tactics influence his view there.
I don't remember feeling like there was any sort of more lying on, slowing down in this game from either side than any, it didn't stand out to me. It felt fast, especially the first half. Felt so fast.
I think this was quite a contrast to the game before in terms of its intensity.
Yeah.
St David says, with a contrasting view, what a belting game of rugby that was. 2 sides full throttle, cracking atmosphere, some great tries, bit of biff, and a win for the mighty Red V. Even the ref was good. The stats don't tell the story of how in control Saints were for all but 10 minutes, even though Wyatt were more rested. The pack were awesome, and the young halves fearless. Roll into magic and sort out these Wigan exiles onwards.
Mike Webb 58 said the intensity of the atmosphere was great to see. Saints very dominant for 70 minutes, but for